Say we're packing the court. We're not packing it. We're unpacking it. Senator McConnell and the Republicans packed the court over the last couple of years. And how can Americans look at the Supreme Court and expect it to do justice, to do equal justice, when it has been so severely politically and obviously politically manipulated?
Good grief. Boy, folks, the Chris Salcedo Show axiom says that Democrats often project qualities onto others that they have in abundance. You just saw it. Socialist Democrat and chair of the House Judiciary Committee, Gerald Nadler, unpacking the courts. These socialists' proposed plan would expand the number of justices in the Supreme Court from 9 to 13. Joining me now to discuss is attorney and author of Religious Liberty in Crisis, Exercising Your Faith in an Age of Uncertainty, Ken Starr. Mr. Starr, it's great to have you here on the Chris Salcedo Show. And isn't this packing the court to make the court a political instrument? Isn't this the quickest way to undermine Americans' confidence in the Supreme Court?
This is not only beyond a reasonable doubt, this is beyond any doubt whatsoever, even unreasonable. It is manifestly a political move. And so shame on the Judiciary Committee chair. He knows better. This is just rank politics. Happily, Speaker Pelosi has called a timeout, so we'll wait for the president's commission to do its work. That buys us a little bit of breathing time. So Americans can become educated of how really boneheaded and dangerous this idea is.
Yeah, boneheaded. That was then Senator Biden's comment on this. Republicans are against court packing. Two of the most liberal justices, Stephen Breyer and the late Justice Ginsburg, also opposed to packing the court. And you just mentioned Nancy Pelosi was asked by a reporter about socialists' push to pack the court, and here's her response.
Do you support Jerry Nadler's bill to expand the Supreme Court by 4 seats, and would you commit to bringing that bill to the floor?
No. I support the president's commission to study such a proposal. I don't know that that's a good idea or a bad idea. I think it's an idea that should be considered. In answer to your question, I have no plans to bring it to the floor, no.
Okay, so politically speaking, this issue divides the Democrats, but unites the Republican Party. One wonders what Nadler and Markey and others are thinking here.
They're not thinking it carefully, but I think they are listening. They're listening to the most, quote, progressive, the most radical elements in their party that don't care about American institutions. You see, American institutions are bad. No, they're not. They're wonderful institutions. And the Supreme Court of the United States should get an A+, not for its opinions. I happen to agree with more of their opinions, but that doesn't matter. That's just a question of judgment. In getting its work done efficiently and professionally. And that's why you would not hear Ruth Ginsburg or Stephen Breyer, even though they might be in dissent most of the time, saying, oh, you know what the answer is? We need the folks across the hill to send us more members, send us reinforcements. So the thoughtful members of the Democratic Party are going to say, no, it's an idea, but it's not a good idea. So we got to wait for this commission. But of course, the commission has 30+ members, and it's way loaded to the left, right? It's not a balanced commission.
Sure. Of course not. Chief Justice John Roberts has constantly sided against the First Amendment and religious liberty. In a losing effort, Roberts sided with California's draconian restrictions that prevented in-person religious gatherings at home, including prayer groups and Bible studies. Now, what was even more egregious here, Mr. Starr, is that California said with a straight face that secular gatherings were okay, but religious gatherings of equal size were not okay. Are you as troubled as I am by the Chief Justice's hostility toward Americans' religious liberties?
Well, I'm disappointed in these particular votes. Yes, especially this, the home Bible study one. I thought that simply was beyond my ken of understanding. But all in all, when you look at the merits, Chief Justice Roberts votes in favor of religious liberty, but I have been disappointed in the church closing area. He has just been, in my judgment, and the judgment of a lot of folks, overly deferential to the blue state governors, especially New York and California, who do take these draconian measures. It's okay to go to the French Laundry with your pals, but don't have a Bible study in your home. That can't be right.
Absolutely crazy. Yeah, in some instances out there in California, they were saying, yeah, go ahead. You can gather with 3 families in a box to watch the anti-American Major League Baseball League, but you can't gather in a Bible study to do the same thing. Absolutely crazy. And then the Chief Justice agreed with that. Absolutely insane. Now, Ken, you're one of the people handling a Museum of the Bible event, which is the goal is exploring the historical role of and current threats to religious freedom here in the United States. Give the audience a little bit more about your work you're doing here.
Yes, we are having a wonderful event in terms of rolling out the book, but also just honoring the great traditions of the American people. You know, it was Justice William O. Douglas, who was a liberal icon, a veteran of the Warren Court, who wrote, "We are a religious people whose institutions presuppose a supreme being." You know, there are people who are trying to blot that out, so to speak, by their actions, by their words. But it remains true that in the Declaration of Independence, and even reflected in the Constitution itself, and as John Adams said, we are, in fact, a religious people, and the Constitution protects that, but it also protects people of no faith whatsoever, protects all persons in their dignity to believe or not to believe. And the Museum of the Bible was hosting a wonderful event that's just honoring our country and these foundational values that should bind us all together.
Should, but sadly, the political divisions now seem to be in this country. You know, you've got one side that protects religious freedom and the other side which is antithetical to God. And the folks can decide which sides those are. Ken Starr, appreciate the time here on the Chris Salcedo Show. Come back soon.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.